The Winnipeg Jets win Game 11 of their 2021 NHL season against the Calgary Flames by a score of 4-1 in a landslide win where every single member of the Jets, from the forward core to the defensive core and to the goaltending, played the best hockey that they have to this date in the season, in my opinion. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, regardless of the team you root for, definitely consider dropping a subscription down below. And also, if you guys are a fan of my opinions, definitely go give me a follow on Twitter, link in the description. Just keep up to date with more the smaller things that happen throughout the day that I don't have time to make videos for. Nonetheless, let's talk about Game 11 against the Calgary Flames. Now, starting off, I want to talk about Connor Hellebuyck because, in my opinion, this was one of Hellebuck's best games of the season. From the puck drop to the end of the game, he looked fantastic in a lot of different areas, very poised, very calm, a lot of great positioning by him, a lot of great overall play. He was just fantastic in his end of the ice, making the saves he needed to do to preserve the win. He looked very good, like I said, and he looked like his old form, which is something that has been a little shaky in some games this season nonetheless, especially considering he let in a goal from the opposite blue line. And I think that this is a good, step in the right direction for Hellebuyck to have a really good, solid, really good performance game like this. And I think that we can expect more of it moving forward. And it's also really nice to see Hellebuyck having such a great game after Laurent Brossoit has been so good for the Jets recently, because to have that rotating carousel of a good goaltender as a backup, because Laurent Brossoit wasn't that good last year. He was great in his first year with the Jets. So to have him come back to his form with his first year of the team potentially could be huge for the Jets moving forward in a shortened season, to give Hellebuyck enough rest to be the freshest he can be going into the playoffs if the Jets make it there. But nonetheless, I thought that Hellebuyck played a fantastic game. Also, just want to quickly mention, if you're wondering why this video is presented like this instead of as a commentary track, instead of me with my actual camera, it's just mostly due to the fact that I was having technical difficulties tonight, wasn't able to get the camera recording properly without the lag and all these issues, so we're just going back to a video like this for tonight, hopefully being able to get the old format back for the next game reaction. Nonetheless, though, another player I want to talk about as being one of the best standouts of this game was Mason Appleton on the third line. Mason Appleton has looked amazing in these last 5 games. In the last 5 games, he's got 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists, and has been everywhere on the ice. His offensive pressure has been insane. His defensive pressure, killing penalties, and just overall presence in the defensive end has been very noticed, in my opinion. And not only that, he's just starting to develop a lot more offensive upside, and his speed is unmatched right now by maybe only Nikolai Ehlers. He looks so fast out there and very poised, and he just looks very different from what he's been at the start of this season. He's only gotten better with the ice time he's had this year, so hopefully this is a breakout year for Mason Appleton, because I always thought he has a ton of potential. But I'm not gonna lie, I recently have thought that Jansen Harkins might jump him, or potentially even Christian Vesalainen with the potential, and to see Appleton come out and have a great game like this is just so much promise for the future, and it's very exciting to see. He was everywhere in the ice and a great presence and a great positive over the last 5 games nonetheless. Also want to talk about real quick before we get away from Connor Hellebuyck is the fact that with today's win, 153 wins for Connor Hellebuyck sets him as the number one of the franchise for wins. So congratulations to Connor Hellebuyck on passing Ondrej Pavelec for that record. Can't wait to see how many more wins he gets with the Jets before the end of his career with us. Hopefully that'll be when he retires, because I love me some Connor Hellebuyck, and he has been great for the Jets, and I just love that we have an amazing goaltender like that. Not only though has Mason Appleton be great, but Kyle Connor just solidified himself again as the top goal scorer in the NHL with the way he played today. He looked great. He looked a lot more professional and poised, and just as an overall more complete player than what he's been the past couple games. And he was very on the ball today, looking great. That breakout goal that he had, breakaway goal that he had, was fantastic. He just looked very good. And talking about more offense, rolling into the 4th line. Now, like I just said, have been a big fan of Jansen Harkins' development, but boy, did freaking Vesalainen have great chemistry with Gustafsson today, because they just looked great. I really liked that 4th line playing with Lewis as well. Very limited minutes, but they just looked good. They were generating chances, and they had good zone time, which is something that the 4th line desperately needs, and it's really promising to see. Like I said in my last video, I love Trevor Lewis. The fact that we're playing Derek Forbett and Trevor Lewis 1.7 combined, in my opinion, is such a great steal for this team, because those guys are bringing a lot of experience and a lot of different type of play that the Jets have desperately needed in their game, in my opinion. And it's very promising, and I love to see that. Even if it doesn't contribute in points, he's doing a very good job defensively. He's making the good plays in the offensive zone to put on pressure and create some chances and create havoc in the offensive zone, and that's exactly what a 4th line is supposed to do. So great to see him. Talking more about the bottom 6, a guy who I was very hard on has just been getting better and better for the last 5 games, it seems like, and that's Matthew Perreault. Matthew Perreault has been fantastic the last few games. He's been everywhere. He hasn't been making the extra pass. He's been taking shots, and not only has he been taking shots, he's making smart heads-up plays with the puck in the offensive zone, and that's something that he hadn't been doing at the start of the season, where he was not taking the best offensive opportunity for the Jets and just making what seemed to be probably a safe play, he thought, but actually ended up turning into a turnover, and it resulted in a lot of turnovers, in my opinion, and with him making an unnecessary pass or making the unnecessary decision in the offensive zone. But he's really poised himself there. He looks great. He has a lot of potential there with his game to develop for a guy who's old, and a lot of guys at the start of the season, including myself, were preaching to have him removed from the lineup. So to have Perreault only getting better again creates more depth for the Jets, to have the potential of Matthew Perreault, who I thought would be knocked out by Jansen Harkins this season, playing great hockey is good, because Harkins, to come in as a young guy, as a hound, kind of in that bottom six, I like to call him, he can play anywhere there, and I really think he has potential. So having him as a press box guy right now, and having Perreault look the way he does, especially with Vesalainen and Gustafsson, I think is a great option for this team moving forward. I don't think plugging out Trevor Lewis is a good idea, so I think what we saw with the bottom six tonight is probably going to be a good look, surprisingly, because if that bottom fourth line can play the way they did tonight, and the third line keeps playing the way they do, I just don't see Harkins jumping back in, not because of bad play, but because of the chemistry and how good that bottom six is playing right now. A lot of potential, and it's very fun to watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring for the rest and the consistency of this season. But nonetheless, I thought that the penalty kill looked great as well. Talking about the bottom six, I thought that they just had a lot of good opportunity with killing the puck, getting the puck out, blocking the lane, blocking shots, just looking very poised and collected on the penalty kill, and that's something that the Jets have lacked in some areas. But unfortunately, while the penalty kill looked great, jumping into the bad, the power play can barely get into the offensive zone, and it is painful to watch. A lot of that has to do with the puck movement. Again, something that I've been preaching from the start of the season. I think Blake Wheeler being on the ice with the top players, with the speed that they bring, is slowing down the unit, and I think that slowing down the power play is something we might start to see more from this. I don't think, while it's a bad thing, I just think that they have to work in a way to incorporate their speed without, taking Blake Wheeler, slowing them down, which is going to be something they're going to have to do. Whether or not that means Wheeler hangs back while the other four break into the zone on a 4-on-4 type of situation, I don't know. But their power play, they're so sluggish in the neutral zone when they bring the puck in, that they just have such a hard time gaining any types of setups and getting any type of off pressure offensively when they have a power play. And that's something the Jets desperately need to fix, because a power play is what makes you successful in the NHL. And if the Jets can't have a consistent power play that has a deadly threat, I just don't think that it's going to make a difference. And I also think that teams are going to be notice that, and teams are going to take the extra step and take the penalty in certain situations, because the power play lacks so much. The power play has been great at times, I'm not going to deny that, especially that first unit, but I do think that the second power play with Nikolai Ehlers could prove to be more of a useful unit moving forward. I think that the way he brings in the puck with his speed, and how he controls the puck through the neutral zone, is great, and I just feel like that first power play unit really lacks that. So it's going to be interesting to see what Paul Maurice does moving forward, because in my opinion, that's been a constant from the first game of the season, a very slow, sluggish power play with the puck movement. So I hope that can change soon. But nonetheless, the other big negative I want to talk about, and I absolutely hate saying this is a negative, because it's not that he's a negative because he's a horrible player, but it comes due to the fact that he just is getting too much of a top six opportunity with the way he's playing, and I'm going to keep saying this because it's just the way I feel. I just didn't like Blake Wheeler's game again tonight, and I love Blake Wheeler, but I just didn't like his game. He just does not look like himself. He had a rough penalty in the first and in the third, and he stayed still for a minute during that first goal. He was just, I know he was gassed, but you've got to do something. You've got to have pressure. You've got to just do something. Like, Blake Wheeler standing there, if he's that gassed, take that 5-10 seconds to get to the bench and just get another player on. That's basically better. Like, it's better to leave a guy that open than what Blake Wheeler was doing at that point, in my opinion. He was horrible there. Yeah, the best way I would describe Blake Wheeler was there were just way too many controller disconnected. He was playing NHL 21 and his controller disconnected, and he was just gliding. Dead, no energy, not knowing what to do. That's how I would describe some of his play tonight, and I just don't know what it is with him. I'm hoping with rest, and I just don't know, but I can't be the only one that notices this, and I'm not hating on the guy because he's a bad player, because he's not. He's still an offensive beast for us with the points he's putting up, but the problem, nonetheless, is the fact that he's having too many of these games where he just looks bad, like very, very bad, and not a complete player, not even close to what he was last year, and hopefully that's just, like I said, with conditioning because of a weird offseason. I really think that could potentially be it. Blake Wheeler's a very, very, hard-working guy. He has been for his whole career, so I think maybe COVID had some type of implications on his training, hopefully, because if that's the case, I can, understand it, and it will make perfect sense. hope that that's the case and that every game he gets better, because it's not looking like that. Because in my opinion, he's having these games where he can look good for a couple, but then he reverts right back to being super slow and bagged for the whole game almost. So I don't know if it's his conditioning still or what. I just hope it changes moving forward, because if Blake Wheeler can be the best Blake Wheeler he can be, this team is going to be such a beast, especially even if Blake Wheeler slides to that third line. Can you imagine a Blake Wheeler with more, speed, with a little bit more, energy, playing on that third line, matching up on those third lines, especially with how good the third line has been? Oh man, it just makes me salivate at the opportunities we could see with the Jets once Pierre-Luc Dubois arrives. And also, I do know I've been saying PDL. It just rolls off the tongue easier sometimes. And it's also, for some reason, my notes on my computer corrected PLD to PDL. I don't know why. Maybe that's a company and it just thought I was doing that. But nonetheless, Pierre-Luc Dubois is PLD. I know that. Moving on. That's basically the end of my opinion on this game. I thought the Jets played great. I think that overall this is a good game and it's a great stepping stone for the Jets to take this play that they showed and have elemented and bring it into the next games moving forward. It's going to be interesting to see. Nonetheless, let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, what your thoughts were on this game, what your thoughts are on Blake Wheeler. I would love to hear it. I've made a few videos on Blake Wheeler and there has been some, backlash to my opinions, and that's okay. Like I've said 1,000 times, I really don't care if you disagree with my opinion, because all this is an opinion on sports. It really doesn't matter. It's not politics. It's not going to change anyone's life. It's just my enjoyment of a sport that I love. So if you disagree with me, please respectfully let me know in the comments in the most, best way you can. I just don't want to see these, these opinions that suck, because it's like, if you're going to disagree with me, I'd love you to give me a combat and tell me why, because that makes it fun, and also maybe you can change my opinion on the matter nonetheless. So let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, like and subscribe if you are enjoying the video, enjoying the content, and also if you're new to the channel, like I said at the start, definitely drop a subscription if you're new. Turn on notifications if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter. Peace, love, and positivity, everybody. I will see you in the next video. Go Jets, go.